Hello and welcome to Dice Demons. I'm Emma, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the more reveals that has just been shown off at the Warhammer Fest. And for the noon slot, they were going to reveal stuff for Underworlds, for the Middle-earth battle strategy game, and also some new things for Warcry. So let's take a look. First off, we have the things for Underworlds. And it says here, heads will roll as the cursed executioners of Nagash into the Weird Hollow. So we have, obviously, what is a Nighthaunt band for Underworlds. And we can see the models here. I actually, I think there are 4 different models, yeah. And I think they look really cool with the, I gotta say, I'm a little bit partial to the whole Nighthaunt line. I think they are just really well sculpted, and I think it's such a cool idea where you have the sort of empty space inside their bodies. So they just seem like really ghostly in a nice weird way to me, and I kind of like that. So we have like a big guy with a sword sticking down into the ground, and then we have some, it looks like they have some sort of ethereal magic thing, and then they have skulls in them, so it looks like we have some sort of tortured souls rising from the ground as he strikes or something. I think that looks quite cool. I think perhaps you need to paint it. Be a little bit careful when you paint it, otherwise it might just look like some kind of goo with a head stuck to it. I think it needs some sort of ghostly color palette for it to really give this effect. But I mean, goo with a skeleton head, that might also be quite cool. And then we have a guy with a scroll, and I think it looks fine as well. I gotta say, I'm not quite sure about the sort of the silhouette of the sculpture of the model, because when I first saw it, I thought, what kind of weird animal is he holding? It looks like the top of the skull, the way it's folded down and then sticks out a little bit at the end. The first thought in my mind when I saw the model just really quickly was, is that some kind of bird or reptilian thing he's holding with a head at the top here? And then I realized it was a scroll. I just really like it when you have a nice clear silhouette of a model that really allows you to understand what it's about in just like a split second. And I don't really think that's the case with this one, but as soon as you get the idea, I think it works just fine. It's a very long finger he's got pointing at the scroll, though. Very long. It looks a little bit weird. And then we have someone with chains, and he's holding, is that an anvil perhaps, with candles on it? Or is it just like a tombstone? I'm not really sure. Yeah, it looks fine. And another one with some heavy chains, looks like, and just a big sword as well. That's not quite as interesting to me as the other ones, perhaps. I really like this one. I think it just looks really cool and menacing. Yeah, I like these. And then we have all the cards and stuff. I don't play Underworld, so I don't really know if these are going to be any good or anything. But it's cool. I mean, then they are saying new stuff is coming out, and they will have some new warbands and stuff. So yeah, that's cool. I like these. As I said, I don't play Underworld, so I don't think I won't be getting these. But they, yeah, I like the look of them. They're quite cool, except for this one. I think it's a little bit boring, but the other ones are really cool. Okay, then we have the reveal for the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and it says here, get off the road, celebrate your love of the Lord of the Rings with this superb diorama. And then we have the one single miniature that was revealed for the Middle-earth battle strategy game. And while I think it's a cool diorama, if you've seen the movies or anything, this is such an iconic scene where you have the hobbits running off the ground because the ring wraith is coming to get them, like, lured by the ring and stuff. So it's very cool, but at the same time, I mean, a single model when you had the whole thing really blown up, like, oh, we're going to do huge reveals and Warhammer Fest and stay tuned for the reveals, and Middle-earth battle strategy game was in there, like on par with all the other game systems. And then you get a model that is basically not really meant for playing, but meant as a diorama. I think that was quite a letdown, also probably for a lot of people who play Middle-earth. I don't play it yet. I have seen a lot of people actually play it at my local club, and they are really into it, and they say it's a really cool game system. I'm not that fond of the scale of the models, and also I think I don't know. There is something about the models for Middle-earth that are just not really for me. But I think the game system itself sounds fun, so perhaps I could do something with proxies or something. It's cool, it's nice, it's well done, and you know, you have the whole atmosphere and stuff. But one single model, I don't think that was enough. I think this should just have been its own thing and not on the whole Warhammer Reveal party thing, because it was a bit of a letdown, I think, for a lot of fans. Yeah, it says here it can come apart if you want to use the ring wraith in your games as a separate miniature. That's fine, but again, still, it's a single model. And then we have the last things, and this is for Warcry. And it says here, pious heroes and deluded cannibals come to blows over mismatching chivalric codes in Warcry. So we have, of course, the Stormcast, and we have some Flesh-Eater Courts minis. And first we have the Stormcast, and it says here, the Quester Soulsworn are unique among the Stormcast Eternals. Existing outside the traditional chamber structure, each Soulsworn is selected by Sigmar himself to join the ranks of the Questers, giving them a chance to flex their muscles and express their heroic virtues to the fullest in the most dangerous missions. These puissant paladins are usually solo agents wandering the realms to carry out the God King's will according to visions and omens. On occasion, however, they will gather as a warband to undertake a particularly perilous task, such as cutting to the heart of the ravening ruin to keep the secrets of Talaxis from falling into the wrong hands. Okay, so noble knights on some sort of quest. Cool. Not very original, but fine. And I think I have the same kind of feeling with Stormcast that I have a lot of the Space Marines for 40k. I think they all look kind of samey to me. They're all just big dudes and dudettes in armor with big weapons. I don't know, there's something about them that just it makes them hard to tell apart from me. I've also played a lot of Age of Sigmar and played against Stormcast armies, and I always had a lot of trouble keeping the units separate when I wasn't really sure, are these what kind of models are these, what can this unit actually do. It's not, some of the models are really cool. I particularly like the dragons, for instance, and the dragon riders and stuff. They're really cool. But the ordinary Stormcast, I think, are really well done. They're just not particularly an army that speaks to me, even though some models, like I think are quite cool. These two I think look nice. I think there's something about the lantern that he's holding up that was supposed to signify that he accepted the quest or whatever. And that's a nice touch. That definitely makes him stand out a lot. Then we have another two here, and the guy on the bottom with the huge sword is, again, to me, much like any other Stormcast. And I think perhaps, is this the same model? I think these two look like there is the same model, but with different options for the head and the arms, because look at the sort of pelt. I don't know, it's a bear pelt or something sticking out from the cape. It's exactly the same angle, so I guess it might be the same model, perhaps. Anyways, I like the one on the top just because he's got a skull helmet. I'm a simple kind of person. I enjoy skull helmets a lot. And more Stormcast with more big weapons, which is cool and fine. I like her hair. That looks cool. I also always enjoy a helmet like this one, where you can see it's sculpted sort of like a lion or something. It always reminds me of things like in the Gladiator movie and stuff. Yeah, they look cool. But then comes the thing that I am quite, really quite excited about. And these are the Flesh-Eater Courts. I I have a thing for the Flesh-Eater Courts, and I actually think that one of the very, very first videos I made here on this channel was about the Flesh-Eater Courts and what I would like to see for them, because I think they have such cool lore, where they are these demented, cannibalistic, zombie-like creatures who imagine themselves they are in some sort of imaginary world where they think they are noble knights and ladies and lords and on a holy crusade and all sorts of things, and then they're just completely deluded, and I just think there is something about that that's quite cool. And so I really want to see the whole range get a refresh, because some of the models are quite old, and also they don't have that many different models. So I'm really happy to see them here in Warcry, and I also think it would be really cool if this meant that they were actually going to get a huge range refresh. That would be really fun. Just look at it. I mean, look at the stance of the guy on the top here. Guy, girl. I don't know if they have gender when they are like Flesh-Eater Courts anymore. I guess they do. I mean, if in the lore they are supposed to see themselves as either noble lords or ladies, they must have some sort of idea of what they see themselves as, I would imagine. Oh, anyway. So the guy on the top here, I think, looks really cool. Look at the way he's standing. He looks like he's feeling proud of himself. He's doing something glorious, it looks like he thinks. And he's holding his cape out like, oh, look at this fancy, burgundy red, rich cape I have with ermine trim or something like that. And then it's just this ragged, rotting piece of sewn together pieces of hide. It's just cool. Also, look at his sort of like armor on the knees, but then it's just like a skeletal hand that is stuck into the skin. Wow, it looks creepy. I really like it. I also like the guy here on the bottom. I think he has a silhouette that's a little bit more tricky to read, because he's got his head and then he's got a helmet that is also a skull. So, and then some sort of spikes sticking up from his back. So he's a little bit trickier to read at a single glance, but I think he looks cool as well. Definitely. And then we have something that they call the Offal Hounds. I think they look much more like monkeys to me than any kind of canine creature. But whatever. They are also quite cool. I'm not particularly into the whole flat face look on them. I would prefer if they had just sculpted more like an ordinary face. But I like the look of them because they are really dynamic and they look really powerful and they look like they really mean business. They are coming to eat you. I wonder what they're supposed to be like. If they're supposed to be like hunting mastiffs for, a noble party of hunters out in the woods or whatever. And then they're just these horrid creatures. And we have some more smaller ghouls, I guess. They're just cool. I really like the one here on the right where the skull has a helmet. It just looks cool. Yeah. Oh, and look at these. I really like the two here on the top. I guess I like the Flesh-Eater Courts more when they are standing up instead of when they're sort of hunched over. I get the hunched over look makes them look really menacing and much more like bestial. But I like when they're standing up and looking like they're very proud of themselves, just because I think it fits with the whole idea. They're just such a crazy faction. I think they look really nice. And I also like I really like the paint job, particularly on these two. I think the colors are really well chosen, and they look like they have been living underwater or something, like they've been drowned and then resurrected and imagine that they're kings of Atlantis or something. Yeah. These are really cool to me. Yeah, definitely. I don't play Warcry and I don't have a Flesh-Eater Courts army, but I could definitely be tempted to pick these up just to paint them, just because it would be fun. On the other hand, I have so much other stuff. Yeah. And then we get the terrain, and it's more of the same kind of terrain we've seen before, and then with the Realm Shaper engine for the Seraphon as a sort of centerpiece, which, I mean, it's fine. I'm not quite sure I think it really fits with the theme, but yeah. There it is anyway, it's fine. And so they're coming, new warbands are coming out, and they'll have a new starter set and stuff. I know a lot of people are really happy with Warcry and think it's fun. I've just never tried playing it, so the starter set and stuff is not something I know a huge deal about. But I really, really, really like these models. I particularly like this guy here with the cape and everything. It's just such an awesome representation about what the faction really stands for, in my mind at least. Yeah, these I want. I'm quite disappointed that there was only one model for the Middle-earth game, and I think the Nighthaunt for Underworlds is like just fine. It's very well sculpted, and the Stormcast are also fine. But these I'm very excited about. I think this is exactly what I want to see, and now I just want an entire big army refresh just with these guys. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you like these? What do you think of the Nighthaunt and the Middle-earth diorama? Do you like the Stormcast here? Do you like the Flesh-Eater Courts? And would you like also to see more Flesh-Eater Courts done like this? Yeah, any sort of thing. Questions, comments, ideas, leave them in the comment section. I would very much appreciate it. And also, of course, if you like the video, I would also be very happy if you would leave a like or perhaps even subscribe to the channel. So thank you so much for watching this one, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.